Hey there. Previously, I have created one video, as you can see on my screen, with Gulp CSS and browser sync setup. In this video, I have showed how you can create a build process using CSS, browser sync, and Gulp. You can check out this video. And after this video, I received few mails saying that how you can optimize JavaScript and CSS files. So in this video, you can find Gulp task that will create JavaScript and CSS files, and the browser sync is also integrated. So when user or a developer create JavaScript files or update the CSS files, the local host server will automatically get reload and the changes will be deployed. So in this new video, I will show how you can optimize JavaScript and CSS code using Gulp. So the first point is you can concat JavaScript and CSS using Gulp concat. The Gulp concat is the npm package. I will show you how you can use that. So first of all, we have one server which is working fine. Let me show you with the change font, text, decoration, underline. It should be title class. Okay, so as you can see, it is working fine. So let me show you the code. The folder structure is the SCSS file is there, main.scss, and all the CSS code is in SCSS file. And there is one gulp file.js, and in that file, I have created some task, gulp start. As you can see, I am running gulp start command here. When you run the gulp start command, it will run the series of tasks. The first is build CSS, and in build CSS file, it will take all files from app SCSS folder. So the app folder is there, SCSS folder is there, and SCSS files are there. Okay, and it will dump that file, the SCSS file, into dashed styles main.css. So main.css file is generated and all the CSS are dumped in main.css, and in index.html file, this is the index.html file, that file is served, and in that file, as you can see, main.css file is there in link. So this dashed styles main.css is file is getting loaded. So this is the previous structure. What is the next step? We will use one npm package called gulp concat, and we will concat multiple CSS files and JS files into single file. Let's start. First of all, we need to install this package using npm command. Npm install gulp concat. Let's open packet.json, and as you can see, the dev dependency gulp concat is installed. So we have to use this package in our gulp file.js. Okay, for that, first of all, we need to create one variable concat is equal to require. We need to require that package gulp concat. Okay, and we need to use this variable somewhere here in the process. Before that, I will create one new file called taste.scss. Okay, and let me just change this title, remove this title from main.scss and dump into taste.scss and font size 3 am just for taste. Let me reload. Let me start the server. It will take some time. Yeah. So as you can see, the new CSS which I wrote in test.css file, test.scss file, it is not getting applied here. Why? Because the test.scss is file is not imported in here. It is there. The file is generated due to our build CSS process, the task. But as in HTML, we have the main.css. So the new CSS will not get applied. So what we will do next? We will concat these two files, main.scss and test.scss, and dumped all the CSS in a single file. So when we want to serve that file into HTML, we can simply use this in HTML file. Let's do that. Open the Gulp file, and here what you can do, you can simply write down pipe, and concat is a function, not the function, we need to use this concat object. Okay, and you can write down the name of the file. You can use main.css and dot. Let's see how it works. We need to restart the server. As you can see, the new CSS is there. Why? Because when you open the destination folder, styles, here in main.css file, this CSS is there, and we can simply delete it. We don't need this. So in our main source file, SCSS file, let me add some other CSS. Color yellow is there, and the process is fine. And as you can see in main.css, the color is there. So we have used that main.css file in our index file, so it will work fine. So this is concat. In the destination folder, only one CSS file will get served into HTML, and when you do the development, you can create as many CSS files as you want, and it will simply dump all the CSS into a single file. So this is the concat for CSS. Let me close these files. Similarly, you can use this for JavaScript. Let me show you how JavaScript is working now. Right now, the script.js file is there, and this is the script.js file. Okay, let me add some code here. Console.log paste, and it will reload. Yep, and the new code is there. Okay, so this is working fine for single JavaScript file. Let's create another file in the same folder called taste.js. Okay, and let's add some code here. This is taste.js file. Okay, and right now you can't see that code here because it is serving a single file and test.js is not into the picture now. So in gulp file.js, we will copy this. In the build.js task, here we need to give the file name. Let's give script.js, script.js, and simply remove this. We don't need this anymore. Okay, copy, save, and we need to restart the server. We need to restart server here because we are making change in gulp file.js, and that's why. Let me open the console. As you can see, the test and this is test.js file. Let me open that JS file. Here we go. Right. So in JavaScript, you can also use concat, and the single JavaScript file will serve in the HTML. Cool. So this was the first task which we wanted to learn using gulp, the concat. Using this function, you can always create multiple files in the development, and it will concat into a single file in the destination folder. So you can use that file into HTML. It will always a good idea to build your project like this. So next thing is we need to minify that CSS and JS. Okay, so let's do it. For example, here we have one object. Let me add that object is equal to username. Username is Mila, for example, and age you can say 33. Okay. And let me just console it again. Log obj. Okay, so as you can see, the new object is there. But I want to minify this to make the JavaScript load faster, and it is very useful in the production. Okay, for that, what we need to do, we need to use one gulp command. You can say npm package called gulp-minify, and you can use this to minify JavaScript. For that, you need to install that first. Okay, it is there now. After that, in the gulp file.js, you need to require variable minify is equal to require gulp slash dash minify. Let me double check. Yeah, gulp dash minify. And we can use this minify object here. So you can use pipe minify, and that's it. Okay, that's it. You can check out the documentation for other options. Okay, there are a few options. Let's open the script file. Nothing happens. Why? Because if you see on the script folder, there is one JavaScript file script-me.js. So there is a configuration that if you don't pass any arguments, it will create min file in the destination folder, in the script folder. Okay, and let's change script hyphen min.js and let's reload. Control U, script. As you can see, the minified version is there. Let me just change some JavaScript. Country India. Okay. Reloaded. Here we go. Okay. Let's open the console. This is the updated object, country India. So this is the way you can minify your JavaScript file. You have to install gulp-minify package and include this gulp-minify object. Using this minify object, you need to simply pipe this minify function and that's all. It works fine. You can delete this script.js file or you can keep it as per your convenience, but the JavaScript file is also updated. So this is working fine for JavaScript. Let's see for CSS. For CSS, you need to use Gulp Clean Css. This is another npm package. This is also very easy to use. So this package is used to minify CSS. Okay, let's install this. Yeah, install. Okay, you need to include, you need to create in CSS object, and what you can do, same as JavaScript, after this concat, you can use pipe clean CSS function and that's it. See? Okay. As you can see, that main.css is now minified. Let's remove this and check again if it is what we are expecting. Okay, let me restart the server. This is raw CSS file. Okay, and after using clean CSS, it will be now minified. So when CSS file is very heavy and on production servers, when the traffic is very heavy on the server, you can always minify JavaScript in CSS. So you can load your web page in a very fast manner. So using Gulp, it is very easy. You just need to use two modules, npm packages. The first is Gulp Minify, other one is Gulp Clean CSS. Also, you can use gulp-concat to merge the multiple JavaScript and CSS files into one file. So that was a very brief introduction for JavaScript and CSS minification. I hope you find this useful. If you face any problem or you have any query, please leave your comments below the video and I will be happy to help you. That's all for this video. Please subscribe to my channel for more related videos and keep supporting. See you next time. Thank you.